Now, knowing you, I know that you're aware of the things that people are saying. You're moving up in two-weight classes. You're the smaller man. Whatever you do, Terence Crawford, don't exchange against them. What do you feel you have to do?
Be myself. I'm 41-0 for.
Was undefeated for the last half of his career.
For more than 20 years, fans believed Floyd Mayweather's 50-0 record was untouchable. He was a ghost in the ring, a defensive genius who made world-class fighters appear ordinary. Yet one unforgettable night, and one explosive statement from the only man who shared the ring with them both, threatened to shake that entire legacy. The conversation stopped being about who was better. It became a question of whether Mayweather's era itself had just been eclipsed. The uproar began the instant Terence Crawford's hand was raised after his masterful win over Canelo Alvarez, a feat many thought couldn't be done.
Terence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this four-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds, claiming all the belts. You don't see people doing that very often. Going up against a guy who was perceived as being bigger and stronger, Crawford was strong. Crawford was strong enough to fend him off, strong enough to make him respect his own power. He used his jab, he used his distance. He had poise in the ring, he wasn't rattled. He backed up and moved when necessary and kept us different. He exchanged enough to gain respect when necessary. It was a brilliant, brilliant, masterful fight.
But the true shockwave hit during the post-fight press conference. When asked to weigh Crawford against Floyd Mayweather, Canelo faced the media and gave a blunt answer with no hesitation.
If you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Coming from the one fighter alive who has faced both men, this wasn't casual opinion. It was a bombshell that rocked the sport. That single remark lit a fuse under a debate years in the making. Soon, one of the loudest voices in sports media would step in. Stephen A. Smith, watching closely, was stunned by what unfolded. Like many, he expected Crawford to stay at range, rely on skill, and outbox the stronger man, but Crawford didn't.
Well, I appreciate Crawford making my prediction come through. Coming into the fight, I had him winning by decision. I thought he was the superior boxer. I thought he would be able to take a punch. And as long as he didn't stay there and exchange with Canelo, I thought he could do it. What surprised me is that there were times during the fight, he did stand there and exchange with Canelo and took it. Took some body shots to the liver, took some headshots, exchanged, and still ended up winning this fight. I thought from the 8th round on, he just put on a boxing clinic. I gotta give credit where credit is due. Crawford deserved to win the fight.
Instead, Crawford stepped into danger and traded shots with Canelo, showing more than technique, he showed grit. Smith admitted, "What I didn't expect was for him to stand there, trade, and survive." And Crawford did it more than once. That's why, Smith argued, he deserved immense credit. He broke down his scoring too, 5 rounds to 4 for Crawford after 9, before Crawford dominated the closing rounds with a clinic. Crawford absorbed Canelo's power, fired back, and excelled where smaller men would have collapsed.
Crawford is a special fighter because he's got a mean streak. He doesn't back up from anything. He's usually the superior boxer in the ring. He finds a way to win. No matter who he's going up against, no matter what power you have, what boxing skills you have, he is truly a generational kind of fighter. He wants to go in the ring and not just beat you, but show you he was a better man. And he's not one who believes that just a knockout does that. He likes outboxing you and showing you that his skill level is superior to yours. And he showed it tonight.
Stephen A. called it a masterclass. Still, despite his admiration, he wasn't prepared to strip away the crown, because he remembered a different kind of genius, a phantom in the ring that Crawford, for all his courage, was not.
Mayweather was undefeated for the last half of his career with one hand. He constantly broke his hand.
Yeah.
He would go into a ring knowing he had no shot at knocking somebody out because his hands were hurt too much, and literally walked in the ring and said, to embarrass you and humiliate you by showing the world you can't hit me.
Here, Smith drew a sharp line, shifting the argument. He reminded fans that Floyd Mayweather was a defensive puzzle, a fighter whose mission was winning without taking punishment. With hands badly damaged for much of his career, Floyd knew he couldn't depend on knockout power. This wasn't speculation, it was a documented issue.
Floyd Mayweather looks me in my face and he says, I'm gonna take him out about the 8th or 9th round. And I said, your hand's always broken. You ain't known for your punching power since you moved up from lightweight to welterweight. Why are you so sure you're gonna do this? He said, Stephen A., he's a UFC fighter. He said, and he's a striker. He's accustomed to coming at you and throwing punches. What he's not accustomed to doing is punching while he's throwing backwards, while he's moving backwards and pushing you off of him. He says, I'm gonna walk right into him and stay in his chest. He's gonna have to push me off in order to throw his punches. He said he's gonna be circling the ring. He said by around 4 or 5, he's not gonna have any legs. He's gonna be done. And he said, and I'll just toy with him and keep him around until around the 8th or the 9th round. And that is exactly what Floyd Money Mayweather did. He told me exactly what he was gonna do, and he did it.
Mayweather himself admitted, my hands are real brittle, even revealing he couldn't spar for a full month before the Conor McGregor fight because of injuries.
You hurt your hand? Huh? I thought you hurt your hand, that's myself. Okay, all right. Relax, baby, the job is done. All right.
Put in a bucket of ice, man. Yeah, I'll get a bucket of ice. Kill him.
I'm saying Shane hit me with a hell of a shot. Okay. Actually, 2 shots. Okay. But even in that particular round, what I said to Shane was this. I was like,
you said something to him when you grabbed him.
I said, you gotta kill me.
Oh shit. I wasn't ready, bro.
I said that was a good one. I said that was a good one, but you gotta kill me. Wow. I said, you gotta kill me. And did I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I meant it.
Adding more fuel, reports long claimed that in the second half of his career, Mayweather fought almost exclusively in Las Vegas, one of the few jurisdictions allowing numbing shots like xylocaine for hand pain. His hand problems shaped where and how he fought, pushing him toward a style that made him nearly untouchable.
Rocky Marciano was 49-0. Before Floyd got to 50-0, he was a heavyweight champ. Did anyone ever consider Rocky Marciano the GOAT? No, not seriously, no. Why would Floyd be considered the GOAT? Because he beat more fighters than Rocky did, more great ones? That's true. But really, Floyd was careful in the way he selected opponents. Don't get that twist. It's not that Floyd didn't fight a lot of great fighters. He did. It's not that I don't think he would have beaten a lot of the tougher fighters that he fought. I think he probably would have, but he didn't do it. He waited. He waited till Pacquiao wasn't at his best anymore. He didn't fight Margarito when Margarito was tearing everyone up. He waited for the right time to fight people. He got paid twice as much for fighting Pacquiao in a less dangerous fight than he would have had he fought him when everyone wanted to see him fight. Floyd is among the all-time greats, but he ain't number one.
Trainer Greg Hackett echoed this view, insisting the Floyd who dismantled Canelo was a complete fighter with polished discipline, a sharp contrast to Crawford's more rugged approach.
I can't say he capping. I can't, because I don't know what he felt. But when I heard that, what I think is, when Floyd beat me, I was 23, I wasn't polished. When Bud beat me, I was the man. I was the man. And he beat me fair and square. He beat me at my game and he beat me at his game. That's why Canelo said that. Do I believe that? It's tough to believe. But I can only take Canelo's word because he's the man that's been in the ring with both of them. But I understand why he said it. I was a kid when I fought Floyd. He wasn't a kid literally, but he was young. He was young. There was a lot he didn't know. There was a lot he didn't understand about boxing that he later on learned and got better. But Bud beat the better version of me, even though it's the ran down version. I'm saying that because it is some wear and tear there with Canelo. I've been saying it the whole time. When a guy got almost 70 fights in current time, with all those big camps he's been doing and all that, trust me, it's some wear and tear there. I'm not making excuses for Canelo. I'm just saying.
I don't know. That's what it gives it that air.
I also think you got to remember when you talking about a Mexican fighter, they big on punishment. He might also feel Crawford punches harder than Floyd and took more chances than Floyd took. Floyd really was super speed that night. Everything speed. And it irritated Canelo because Canelo couldn't do what he wanted to do. And he looked nothing like himself. Like I said, I think it was just times where Canelo felt like, damn, I could have had him. With Floyd, I think he felt like paralyzed. Like, damn, I can't catch this motherfucker. He too fast. But with Crawford, I felt like he maybe was saying, damn, I could have, if I would have threw this, or if I would have did that. You know what I mean? Because it was times Crawford sat there and caught a punch and countered back. You know what I'm saying? He let Canelo throw, like, go ahead, throw your shit. He caught that shit, boom, he come right back with the hook. Same shot he caught Earl with. He was touching Canelo with some of that same shit, man. And it was just like, and it was times where Crawford was imposing himself on Canelo. He was stepping to Canelo at times. He didn't do it the whole fight, but I'm just saying it was times he stepped to him. Floyd did too, but Floyd just was so fast, so much faster. And the education was like totally different. Like when Canelo fought Floyd, Canelo was in middle school. He wasn't even, you know what I'm saying? Floyd by that time was already a Harvard graduate, you know what I'm saying? So
in Stephen A. Smith's own words,
I can't say that. I think that Floyd Mayweather was such a magician defensively. And we have to look at Floyd Money Mayweather in this regard. Once he moved up to welterweight, his hands were always damaged. So he kind of knew he wasn't going to be able to knock you out for the most part. And still, he walked into the ring and put on masterful performances because he was so superior, skill-wise and defensively. You can't say enough. Tonight with Crawford, for example, we saw him take a punch on several occasions. With Floyd, we didn't see that too often because you couldn't hit him. That's the difference.
Crawford endured Canelo's shots, proving both chin and toughness. But to Stephen A., the fact that he had to take punishment at all marked the clear divide from Floyd. Before the argument boiled further, many reminded everyone of a simpler truth: they belonged to different times. This wasn't only about ability, it was about eras. Crawford himself recognized that, saying with respect, "Floyd is the best of his era, and I feel I'm the best of mine."
He just got something that I want.
And it's not just the title, it's what else?
It's everything. He got everything. And I'm coming to get it.
When you beat him, you'll have everything?
That's right.
That admission added nuance. Greatness isn't one straight ladder. It belongs to the moment a fighter rules. The comparison grows even murkier when factoring in age. Floyd's uncle, Jeff Mayweather, pointed out that Floyd was already 36 and past his best when he schooled a young Canelo, making it difficult to compare with a prime Crawford facing a seasoned Alvarez.
Well, also if we remember, Canelo that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So
yeah, what was Canelo? What, 20-something? 23, 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah, but
a man that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
how you at the top of your career in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36.
So the debate shifts, not about who would win head-to-head, but about two champions who reigned supreme in separate, distinct chapters of boxing history.
We've had a lot of comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in the fight between Terence and Floyd, and I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who will win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd will win that
yes,
fight.
Yes, sir. I love you, Terence.
Always figures it out.
Yeah,
he's a chess master.
Yeah, his IQ and that shit.
The funny thing about it is Terence has been the only other guy that people can say he always figures it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
But you gotta have an OG somewhere.
Anybody else? Yeah.
There's an OG
Somebody
somewhere.
got to pioneer, right? Yeah, you got to.
There's an OG you can't out-figure out somewhere, and I just believe Floyd is that OG you can't out-figure out.
Yet one truth stands beyond dispute. Terence Crawford has etched an accomplishment onto his resume that Floyd Mayweather never managed to reach.